Shalom. I want to start out foremost by giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Rakadish. Salutation to the elders and apostles of GMS groups and ones alike. Teach 100% truth, and double honors to the elders and apostles for their knowledge and for the edification. Give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Rakadish. Tonight's lesson we'll talk a little bit about the Rfid chip. Before I get into that, there's articles relating to CBS News, New York Times, U.S. News Today, The Hill, and various other articles talking about Trump says he mobilized the military to distribute potential coronavirus vaccines from 1 to 2 days ago, these articles. And we're mobilizing our military and other forces on the basis that we do have a vaccine. That's a quote. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit about the NFC chip. NFC is the Near Field Communications, which is another name for it. I believe in New York they call it that. Near Field Communications is a set of communication protocols for the communication between the two electronic devices over a distance of 4 cm or less. NFC offers a low-speed connection with a simple setup that can be used to bootstrap more capable wireless connection, a passive transponder that reads or records data, an active transponder if an NFC-compatible smartphone. Its original use of the transponder was used to register animals to allocate them to their owners. NFC implants are often used as alternative ear tags on livestock, such as animals. And basically, it's a microchip. HTTP chip-implants.com. That relates to the NFC, which is the Near Field Communications. The difference between the radio frequency identification and NFC, which is the Near Field Communications. The NFC stands for Near Field Communications. Near Field NFC is also based on RFID protocols, and the main difference between the RFID is that the main difference to the RFID is that the NFC device can act not only as a reader but also as a tag card emulation mode. NFC systems operate on the same frequency as a HF RFID chip. 13.56 megahertz systems, HTTP, WWECOM, X-com, post, etc. Now I'm going to read a little bit about the HR 6666 or the HR 6666, the COVID-19 that relates to the pretty much the TRACE Act, which is the testing, reaching, and contacting everyone, the TRACE Act. Introduced May 1st, 2020, Bobby L. Rush, a Democratic Senator, Illinois, District 1, so-called black male. HR 66 or HR 666 to authorize the Secretary of Health and Human Services to award grants to eligible entities to conduct diagnostic testing for COVID-19. Pretty much basically funding and money to help these entities, organizations to basically help relating to for testing relating to this virus. And related activities such as the contact tracing through mobile health units, and as a necessary that individual residents and for other purposes. With the military being activated, and also this HR 66, so this is pretty much a preemptive preparation relating to what they're going to do in these testing facilities, which will be fully operation when they get the green light to go full operation to do certain things. Now, empty testing centers all over various parts of this different states, cities in the country. Like I said, when they get the full implementation to operate full operationally, then because right now they're empty because they are preparing pretty much, getting it ready. And that's why the military ultimately is going to be activated and other forces to pretty much go to residents, get these people to these testing facilities, test them, vaccinate them, etc. Revelations 13, 15, and 18. I'll read it quick. He had a power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. And he caused all, both small, great, and rich and poor, and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's the wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and number of 603,6. Relates to the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast is that radio frequency identification device. But we doing incremental steps relating to vaccination with connection with it and stuff like that. It's all step by step, a gradual thing, you know what I mean? So ultimately lead to, that microchip. Because we're in stages right now with certain things relating to this bill, relating to the military being operated. These testing facilities is all part of this due process ultimately that leads to, the bigger ultimate that what's going to happen. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to read 14, 9, and 11 of Revelations. And the third angel followed them, saying, with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast of the image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. That relates to the consequences relating to getting this mark of the beast. Continue on. I'm going to read 16, Revelation 16 and 2. And the first went and poured out the vials upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them that worship the image. And then grievous sores relates to that pain that's going to be put upon relating to the wicked and the ones who worship that beast. And that relates to basically the 7 bowls, the vials. And relating to Revelation 16, the loathsome sores, the first bowl. Second is the sea turns to blood. 4 through 7, the third, which water turns to blood. 8 through 9 talks about men are scorched. That relates to judgment. Also, the chariots are going to be set in fire upon the wicked. They're going to be scorched and pretty much disintegrated. And the 5th talks about darkness and pain, because the moon and the sun are going to be, the sun is going to be dark like sackcloth. The moon is going to lose its light, and many people are going to be in pain. They're going to be gnashing and wailing, gnashing their teeth and wailing in pain. 12 through 16, the 6 talks about Euphrates dried up, which is relating to the historical river relating to Western Asia area, borders to Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and that area. So that's going to be all dried up. Also, relating to the wormwood, with radiation, when it hits the water, that's contamination, you know what I mean? So ultimately leads to nuclear missiles, you know what I mean, as well, because the lake of fire, which relates to Babylon on fire. So all these are different types of things that are going to happen. These plagues relating to 16. I'm going to read 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them. And the judgment was given into them, and I saw souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Hamashiach and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach. So that relates to the prophets, the hopeful elect prophets, 1/3 body, and the ones who denounced pretty much taking that following the system, following the beast system or worshiping it. So that many are many were beheaded and killed. You know what I mean, for not taking it. You know what I mean. That relates to the prophets and the 1/3 body. I'm going to read one more, Revelations 19. I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit. This is Revelations 19 through 21. And I saw the beasts of the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together. It relates to the beast system, the nations, to make war against him who sat on the horse and against his armies. That relates to Yahweh ultimately. So good and evil. And him on the horse represents those chariots ultimately, because horse and chariots are the power, you know, that he rides on. Number 20. Then the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet who worked signs in the presence by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshiped the image. These two were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. That relates to the lake of fire, where ultimately that relates to that nuclear missiles, man. Babylon being on fire. That's America. Verse 21. And the rest were killed with the sword, and proceeded from the mouth of him that who sat on the horse, and all the birds that filled with their flesh. And that relates to the beast system and their armies defeated. It relates to the beast system and their nations, ultimately defeated by Yahweh Bashem Yashah and the spiritual armies of Yahweh Bashem Yashah ultimately. So this was a few verses relating to that, because I was talking about the RFID chip, you know what I mean, the difference between that and the NFC, you know, and we in the process of, you know, we in the end times. So like I said, in the prophecy, just like many the elders and the brothers and the elders talk about, you know, we in times of prophecy, you know what I mean? So a lot of things are happening behind the scenes, overtly, covertly, you know, so... That being said, that was just something quick on that. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yashah Bashem Rakadish. Salutation to the elders and apostles of GMS groups and ones alike, teach 100% true. Shalom Barakathon. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yashah Bashem Rakadish. The wild Shalom. Thank you.